Hey everybody, it's me making another video today. This is going to be my second round NBA playoff predictions video. I know I haven't done a Wrestling Forgotten Gems video as of, this week, but I plan on giving it to you sometime Wednesday or sometime Friday. So for some of you who been looking forward to that, just wait patiently because that video is coming. But today this video is going to be about my NBA second round playoff predictions, since the second round matches started yesterday. Well, the first second round match started yesterday, and we got other second round matches that are starting. We got two on today, which is the Lakers against the Houston Rockets, and then the Denver Nuggets. I mean, not the Denver, and Boston Celtics against the Orlando Magic. And then tomorrow's going to be Cleveland versus the Atlanta Hawks. I thought I'd give you my predictions for these second round playoff matches, and then giving you my insight of why I think some of these teams are going to win. So we get started, and I'm going to start with the West because the East has some pretty good games, but the West really has some games that really are going to be close or really not going to be close. It's going to go either way. So we start with the game that happened yesterday. It's the Dallas Mavericks against the Denver Nuggets in the second round. Now Denver beat them yesterday. I think it was like 90 something. It was like 78 or 80 to like 110 or whatever. But the Denver Nuggets showed that they're the team to beat, and they pretty much showed Dallas that you're gonna have to throw a lot at us to beat us, because we're one of the hottest teams that no one really talks about, because they're talking about the Lakers in the Western Conference. But in this series, it all comes down to Chauncey Billups, Dirk Nowitzki, Carmelo Anthony, and the bench for the Dallas Mavericks. If the bench can step up and Dirk Nowitzki can have one of those nights where he can always step up and become a superstar, like many observers said he should be, then Dallas should give Denver some trouble in this series, to the point where Dallas might end up upsetting the Denver Nuggets. And then for Denver to be able to beat Dallas, which I'm pretty sure they're going to you got to have Chauncey Billups be consistent every single night, and you got to have Carmelo Anthony be Carmelo Anthony, and then you got to have the bench with Kenyon Martin. You got to have Kenyon Martin playing to where he was playing in the regular season, and then you got to have the Birdman and everybody else from the bench playing good, especially J.R. Smith, to beat the Dallas Mavericks. Because like I said, the Dallas Mavericks have been they were one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs, and they showed that against San Antonio by beating them in 5. Really, in this series, I see this game going in 5 or 6 with the Denver Nuggets beating the Dallas Mavericks, because I just feel the Denver Nuggets have too much firepower. They got too many superstars, and they just got a whole complete team that's way better than Dallas. And I just see this series ending with the Denver Nuggets winning in 5 or 6. We then go to the second game in the second round matchup between the Los Angeles Lakers against the Houston Rockets. Now the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Utah Jazz in 5. They kind of blew them out in one game, but in game 5 it kind of had me worried, because the Lakers just didn't put that final nail in the coffin against the Utah Jazz. They just kept letting the Jazz hang around, and it pretty much almost cost them that game 5 game, as the Jazz just kept coming back. But the Lakers were able to put the Jazz away, but it just got me worried that the Lakers are letting teams come back from big deficits and being able to come back and tie the game or be behind by 5 or whatever. And that's the problem that I'm worried as a LA fan. That's what has me worried about this team, as this team just played really sloppy in game 5, and they played sloppy in game 4. And then of course you have the Houston Rockets, who just came off a sweep over a really young, hot, up and coming Portland Trailblazers team. In this game, this is going to be a really good game, because you got the Lakers, who play good defense, and you got the Houston Rockets, who has a really good defense with Shane Battier and Ron Artest. and then you got Yao Ming. But I just can't see the Houston Rockets beating the Lakers in this series, as I see the Lakers are just too strong, and they got a guy by the name, I don't know if some of you know, by the name of Kobe Bryant, who's just going to be unstoppable in this series. And this is where having Tracy McGrady is so important for the Houston Rockets, because he's one of those players that can kind of match up to Kobe Bryant and kind of give the Lakers some problems in the series if he was playing in the series, but he's not, and he's not, so it's going to be real big trouble for the Houston Rockets. So I see the Lakers winning this series in 4, well, no, not 4. I see the Lakers winning this series in 5, because Houston's going to make a series out of this, but I just see it's just too much, as the Lakers got too much firepower and just and you got Kobe Bryant, and you got just too many. The bench has been real consistent as well, and it's just I feel it's going to be too much for the Houston Rockets. So see the Lakers winning this series in 5. We then move over to the East, where we got the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Atlanta Hawks. The Cleveland Cavaliers should handle the Atlanta Hawks easily in this series, as Atlanta proved that they're not really good on the road, as was shown in the series between Miami, as they weren't able to get a game. They weren't able to get a game from Miami at home. From Miami away, and they were only able to win games at home in that series. So it's going to be a big problem for Atlanta. And then you got a hot Cleveland Cavaliers team with LeBron James and the whole Cleveland Cavaliers team being real consistent, as which was shown in the first round matchup against the Detroit Pistons. In the end, I see this series ending in 4 or 5, with the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Atlanta Hawks, because there's just too much. The Cleveland Cavaliers just got too much firepower, and then when you got a guy like LeBron James, who the Hawks are going to have a hard time stopping, and then you got emerging superstar, I forgot what that point guard's name is, who played for Milwaukee, but yeah, when you got him, and then when you got Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Varejao, or whatever his name is, when you got all those guys playing real good, it's going to be hard to stop a team that has so much good chemistry, as shown in the first round. So yeah, I see the Cleveland Cavaliers winning this series in 4 or 5, because Atlanta's just not going to have no answers for the Cavaliers. Then moving on to the main event in the East, we have the Orlando Magic facing off against the Boston Celtics, and which should be a really good matchup between two teams who play real good defense. And this is where the Celtics are kind of going to get hurt a little bit. This is where they're going to need Garnett the most, even though this is going to be where the Celtics are going to miss Kevin Garnett the most, because they're going to be playing a real physical Orlando Magic team who has Dwight Howard, who's been a beast, and he showed that in the series against the 76ers. Although he didn't show up in 2 of the games in that series, he did show up in the 3 or 4 games in that series, the 2 or 3 games in that series. And yeah, and then they got the firepower of Rafer Alston and just everybody on that team with Rashard Lewis. This is just a real dangerous team, and Boston is going to have their hands full in the series. And then, of course, you have Boston Celtics, who are missing Kevin Garnett, but they got Ray Allen, Big Baby Glenn Davis, and then, of course, you have the other guy, too. I forgot what his name is, but yeah, you got everybody in that starting lineup. In the end, though, I see the Boston Celtics winning this series, at least in 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm going to say 6, because Orlando just showed some inconsistencies in that series between the 76ers, and they kind of got a little bit exposed in that series. And the Boston Celtics, even though I feel they're not going to make it to the Eastern Conference and they're going to lose one of these playoff matchups, but I think they're going to lose to the Cavaliers in the next series. I just don't see them losing in this series, as they just have too much firepower, and they just got a way better defense than Orlando, and they're just way more consistent than this team. And then they showed that they can win tough and tough games. So yeah, I see Boston winning this game in 6. Rate, comment, and